Hi there. If you like these kind of story, please like and subscribe so I can make more. Comment below what you could have done differently. Thanks.
I've always been a dreamer. No, not the hopes and wishes kind, but the kind who remembers every detail of their dreams, down to the smallest thing. But there's one dream that stuck with me for years, one that's haunted me even before everything changed. It started innocently enough. A quiet city street, the sun low in the sky, casting long slanted shadows. The air was heavy, like something wasn't right. Then came the tremor. It was small, barely noticeable, like the earth was sighing. I remember feeling it in my bones before I saw the figures. Shuffling, walking dead, zombies. It wasn't the first time I had that dream, or the second, or the third. No, it came again and again, 10 times in total. Every time, it felt more real. Every time, I knew exactly what was going to happen next. The chaos, the terror, the feeling of being trapped. I'd wake up, gasping for breath, drenched in sweat, but I never thought it would come true. Until it did. I woke up that morning to a strange stillness. No birds chirping outside my window, no hum of traffic, just an oppressive silence. I felt the hairs on the back of my neck stand up. It wasn't the same as usual. The world outside felt wrong. I stood at the window, looking out over the empty streets. My heart started to race. There were no cars, no people, just a heavy quiet. Then the first tremor hit. It rattled the walls, deep, like the earth was shifting under its skin. My pulse spiked. Then the sirens, a scream echoed from somewhere far off. And then another dot. My stomach dropped. I turned, heart pounding. My brother Sam was still asleep in his room. I rushed to his door, but before I could even knock, I heard it. The low moan. The shuffle of feet. Zombies. I had dreamed this. I knew what was coming next. I didn't even think. I grabbed my bag, snatched up a flashlight, a few cans of beans, some water. I threw it all together in a hurry. My hands were shaking, but I forced myself to keep calm. I knew I didn't have time. Sam, wake up. I pounded on his door. He stumbled out, still half asleep, eyes wide with confusion as I pulled him into the living room. Lena? What's happening? Sam mumbled. There's no time, we have to go. Now, I said, already moving toward the door. But what about Mom? He asked. Mom had been sick for weeks, barely able to move, and now we had to move her too. I hesitated. My heart skipped. There was no way we could all run, no way we could leave the apartment without being caught. But there was no choice. I grabbed the first aid kit, shoved it into the bag, and we made our way to the hallway where Mom lay, still groggy but able to walk. I helped her up as gently as I could, and we hurried out, barely making it down the staircase when we heard the first crash. The first of the undead had broken through the front door. We ran. The streets were chaos. People screamed. Others cried. Some tried to fight back. Others just ran like us. I didn't know where we were headed, but somewhere deep inside me, I felt like I did. I felt like I had been here before. I knew the alleyways to avoid, the shortcuts to take, and where to hide. Every turn felt like something I had already seen, like the nightmarish visions were somehow guiding me. We reached the old bookstore I'd seen countless times in my dreams. I didn't even hesitate. I pulled my mom and Sam inside, quickly pushing the door shut behind us. My hands were slick with sweat. The shuffling sounds of the undead drew closer, their low groans filling the air. Lena, what are we going to do? Sam's voice was barely a whisper. We wait, I said, although I had no idea what came next. The shelves of books were our only barricade. The sound of the undead grew louder, and my heart began to race. They were closing in. I could hear the slow, steady footsteps. They would get in. They always did in my dreams. But this time I felt something I hadn't before, a resolve. I wasn't going to let it end here. The door buckled. I didn't have time to think. I grabbed Sam's hand and pulled him deeper into the store. My mom was weak, stumbling, and I knew we couldn't keep this up for long. That's when I remembered something from the dreams. Something that had always been there, lurking in the back of my mind. A place, a safe place, far out in the outskirts, past the old train station. I had seen it in my nightmares. I didn't know why, but I knew that if we could get there, we could survive. Sam, we're going, I said, grabbing my brother's arm. We're heading to the outskirts. There's a place I know. Sam looked at me, wide-eyed. You're sure? I nodded, more to myself than to him. I was sure. I had to be. It took us hours. The streets were littered with chaos, and we had to dodge the undead at every corner. I led us through the alleys, retracing the steps I had seen in my dreams, each one more vivid than the last. Every decision felt like it had already been made for me. Finally, we reached the outskirts of the city. The neighborhood was small, walled off, quiet. I didn't know who lived there or how they had survived this long, but it felt like home. The walls stood tall, sturdy, and there were no signs of the undead, no signs of the chaos we had just left behind. I approached the gate, my heart in my throat. I was terrified. What if it was a trap? What if we were walking right into danger? Then I heard a voice. Who's there? A man stepped into the dim light, his face weathered but calm. He eyed us carefully, then nodded. Please come in, he said. You're safe now. The gate creaked open, and I breathed a sigh of relief. For the first time since all of this started, I felt a sliver of hope. We were safe. The nightmares had led me here. This wasn't just a dream anymore. It was real. Months passed. Living among the survivors, we managed to be self-sufficient. Farming and livestock. Some even catch fish from the lake nearby. My mother seems happy having found others her age to chat about. While Sam joined the guards who patrol the area. While me, I busy myself farming and occasionally cook for the now growing survivors community. 2 years after, the zombie reigns end. The army had eradicated all the zombies. Scientists all over the world joined forces to found the vaccines. Another year has passed, and everything almost returned to the new normal. We went back to our apartment, fixed it. The whole community helped rebuild the city. Soon it's livable, everyone hoping for the better tomorrow. The end.